This is lesson 3.3 for pre-algebra. 3.3 is mean, median, and mode, measures of central tendency. Now, measures of central tendency are used every day in advertising and media. Whenever you see 3 out of 4 dentists agree that this is the best toothpaste, or they decide, shoe stores use it all the time to decide where are most of my shoes, what sizes do I need to keep in stock. So, what I want you to do is try to remember what these mean in your head and jot it down really quickly, and then we'll go over it, and then we will consider this set of data and do some practice problems. So try to remember what each of these is right now. All right, so the mean is the average, so you add them all up and divide. The median is the middle, if you remember. I always remember it because of the median of a road is in the middle. The mode is the most, and the range is the max minus the min. Okay, so we have these numbers up here, and we want to find the average of the numbers. So push pause, find these numbers, and then you can compare them with what I get as an answer. All right, so I'm going to add these up. So 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 8 is 13, plus 10 is 23, plus 5 is 28, plus 8 is 36, plus 6 is 42, plus 7 is 49, plus 7 is 56, plus 4, I'm going to make that easy, is 60, plus 8 is 68, plus 3 is 71, plus 8 is 79, so I got a total of 79, and I'm going to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 numbers. So I'm going to say, how many times does 13 go into 79? So I'm going to guess 6 times. 13 times 6, 680, 78. So I was very close. Bring down my 1, bring down the 0. 13 can't go into 10. So I'm going to say my mean is 6. So my mean is 6. The median, to find this one, I have to rewrite my numbers. So I have to write them in order. So I have a 2, a 3, another 3, a 4 and a 5, a 6, 2 7s, 1, 2, 3, 4 8s, and 1 10. So my median is going to be the middle of this set of data, which is right here, which is 7. So the median is 7. The mode is what occurs the most, which is 8 because there's 4 of them. And then the range is the max minus the min. So the maximum number, which is 10, minus the minimum number, which is 2, and that is 8. So when you might use this, okay, so let's say you took a quick survey of your friends of how much allowance they get every week, okay, and these are the numbers you got. So you might do the mean, median, mode, and range, and you might say to your parents, Mom, all of my friends are getting $8 a week for allowance, so can I get $8 a week? Now, that means you just used the mode and the range to try and convince your mom that $8 a week is the normal amount of money that each kid gets. But your mom might take the average, this 6, and say, no, they don't. They get $6 a week. Now, this is why the media and advertising use this, is because they have 3 different sets of numbers that they can use, and they all work as a measure of central tendency. Okay, so an outlier, this one might be new for you, but an outlier is a number that kind of is out there. It's out of the set of data. So a data value that is much greater or less than the other data values. So here's an example. 9, 10, 12, 13, 8, 9, 31, and 9. Which number is an outlier? So this one's pretty easy to see that 31 is my outlier because it's way larger than the rest of the numbers. Now, how does the outlier affect the mean? Well, it makes quite a big difference. So if I add up all of my numbers and I divide by 8, I get 101. This is supposed to be over here. Divided by 8, which is 12.6 with the outlier. If I add them all up and divide by 7, I only get 10. The outlier raises the mean by 2.6, which is quite a big amount. So an outlier can make a huge difference in a set of data. So one measure of central tendency is better than another to describe data. So how do you know which measure of central tendency to use to describe a set of data? So you don't need to write that down, but I do want you to write down these 3 points. So use the mean when the data has no outliers. So if I give you a set of data and say which one is the best to use, you are going to use the mean when the data has no outliers. So I want you to use the mode when determine the most frequently chosen item or when the data are not numerical. Use the mode. So when the data is not numbers, let's say it's months, and I surveyed all of you on what month you were born in. Okay, so I wrote down June, May, June, August, and I wrote down 32 different months. Okay, you're going to want to use the mode when you talk about any data that is not numerical. Okay, and then you're going to want to use the median when an outlier may significantly influence the mean. So it's kind of like the number 31 in that set of data before. You have all these numbers, and then you have 31. When you put it on the outside of the list and then you take the median, it doesn't really affect your outcome number. So you're going to want to use the median when there's an outlier. All right. So choosing the best measure. So which measure of central tendency best describes each situation and explains? So this is kind of just an example. You can just sit and listen. You don't have to write all of this down. But you will have questions like this that you will have to answer. So number 1, the monthly amount of rain for a year. So this one you're going to want to use the mean, since the average monthly amount of rain for a year is not likely to have an outlier because it's just average. It's like what happens every month. This month we had 3 inches, next month we have 5 inches. They're usually very similar. So you're going to want to use the mean. The most popular color of a shirt. Most popular color of a shirt. Well, if you remember, if the data is not numerical, okay, we're going to use the mode. So if I write down red, red, blue, blue, yellow, those are not numerical, so you're going to want to use the mode. The times a school bus arrives at school. So they all arrive at different times. One might get here at 7:30. One might get here at 7:27. One might get here at 7:35. So they all arrive at different times. But then one bus might go way quickly and get here at 7:15, or one bus might, if you've ever heard the little announcement that says so-and-so's bus is late and they don't get here till 7:45, that would be considered an outlier, and you want to use the median because it's the most appropriate if there is an outlier. If there's no outlier, then you would use the mean because it's a numerical value. All right, that's it for your notes for 3.3.